Y the Last Man. Brian K. Vaughan, if he's writing it, it's going to be friggin' good. This came out in 2002. This is actually a Vertigo book. Artist on this and co-creator is Pia Guerrera. Our inker was Jose Man Jr., colors Pamela Rambo, and then letters Clem Robbins. Started in 2002. This won 3 Eisners. It's on way to being a 60-issue series. Now, let me introduce you some of the characters because, again, the show's coming out. Help you all get a little bit more familiar with it. York Brown, Hero Brown, Agent 355, and Dr. Allison Mann are all going to be the most important ones for you going into this first season. So make sure you focus on them. Let me give you the synopsis. In 2002, the world changes forever. Every man, every boy, every mammal with a Y chromosome everywhere on Earth suddenly collapses and dies. With the loss of nearly half the planet's population, the gears of society grind to a halt, and a world of women are left to pick up the pieces and try to keep civilization from collapsing entirely. The gender side, however, is not absolutely complete. For some unknown reason, one young man named York Brown and his pet male monkey, Ampersand, are spared. Overnight, this anonymous 20-something becomes the most important person on the planet, the key, it is hoped, to unlocking the secret of the mysterious sex-specific plague. For York himself, the most important person on the planet is 10,000 miles away, and he will stop at nothing to find her. In setting off across the post-male landscape, however, man and monkey are about to learn just how valuable they are, both as a prize and as a target. I go into this show and I'm thinking, okay, it's post-apocalyptic. I didn't know that. All right, well, that kind of makes sense with the title name, but I don't know how much I really want to deal with another post-apocalypse thing. But then it's like the tempo of it's really fast. You see how things develop. You see, like in the first issue, how Brian K. Vaughan sets the stage for all these other characters and introduces you to everybody, makes these time jumps. And the biggest thing with him is, man, the way, you always talk about storytelling. And that, of course, can mean a few different things. But with him, that I think the distinct difference from him and everybody else is the pacing and how he has a bunch of key players involved in the story, but some of them are in different parts of the world, or in Saga's case, the universe. And he does the way he tells the story there, in that sense specifically, he does that here also. Obviously, the stories are very different. I talked about Oblivion Song last week, where you can cruise right through that thing. This is very much the same way. This is a super easy read, and of course, he's awesome. Brian K. Vaughan does a great job. He develops characters and knows how to push their buttons and everything and make you care about other characters who may not be around for a whole long time. I know this is okay, we're dealing with a plague, we're dealing with a virus, we're dealing with apocalypse, all that stuff. But I think this little twist is something we haven't necessarily seen, at least recently, where it's you've got a world of women. And I think in this world, where we are now and in society and everything, I think this is a good time for this kind of post-apocalyptic twist. But yeah, with Vaughan, Vaughan's storytelling from a reading perspective, the way he jumps around and stuff, to me, is what makes where you still think post-apocalyptic. That is the big difference maker in the end for me when I'm reading this story. There's no fat on this thing whatsoever, and I was blown away by that. I'm this. That is why this guy dominates, because he gets it. He understands how to bounce around in a perfect way. And I haven't talked about Pia Guerrera's artwork a whole lot lately, but I mean, in the course of all this, but I thought it fit this really well. It gives it a real feel, but at the same time, it's I'll tell you what, when I think of, if I'm to compare her artwork to anybody's, it feels like Steve Dillon in Creature, but not as harsh. His obviously gets pretty at times with the arse face and everything. But that it's definitely, it's a much more refined, and I know it's deliberate too when you're talking about that series. Yeah. Has a very similar feel to it. You're not dealing with superheroes either, so you shouldn't necessarily have this Dexter Soy or Greg Capullo artwork on this. So I can't recommend this enough. And as soon as you guys start reading this, if you haven't already, you're gonna fly through this thing. So there's 10 volumes to it, 60 issues. So six issues of trade. So and then on Comixology, if you want to read it there, they have 5 collected, jumbo collected issues where it's 12 a pop.
I can't wait to watch the show, and I can't wait to read the book.